What is up everyone, welcome back to another Minion Masters video. Hope you're having an awesome day. In this video we're gonna go over the new things coming in the new update, which is gonna be called the quest for the Mountainshaper. So like always, make sure to like this video if you like it or find informative or useful, and also subscribe if you haven't done that in a while. So let's go on to the things that we know. There's one more card yet to be unveiled, and it's gonna be in like 2 weeks, but it's just one card and pretty much everything else is known to us. So let's just see what we know so far. So we're gonna get adventures as new game modes. We're gonna get a completely new faction and also a new mechanic right here. When it comes to adventures, I say that you'll go on a bold single player journeys with unique mechanics, content and story. You also have a neat prologue here. If you like reading that kind of thing, feel free to read it. And the quest for the Mountainshaper is our adventure. It's gonna contain 3 chapters. First and second, they're gonna be available at the release of the update, and the third one is gonna arrive on the 4th of December. Now, the whole patch has been delayed, that's why I'm making this video. And yeah, we're gonna have to wait a bit more to get it, but there's really a lot of awesome stuff here. So across all chapters you can earn power tokens, XP, exclusive avatars and even legendary card. So the chapter 1 is gonna be free, and the chapters 2 and 3 can be purchased together for 1400 rubies, and they're gonna include 2 new masters each. Now when it comes to masters, I'm just gonna skip here a bit. We have these 5. So these 3, as you know, are pretty much minions that we already have in game. This is a new minion that's going to be upcoming in this update. I'm going to talk about it pretty soon. And this is a new skin for Milloween that's going to be coming. So I don't think we're going to have an actual new master, but these are going to be used through the adventure. Now, adventure is going to let you build your deck as you go. You're going to start with some minion specific decks, and then you can add card choices as you go on. So these 5 masters are what you're gonna be using, and they all have like unique mechanics and unique perks and everything. You have an official blog post right here that brings it a bit more in detail when it comes to some of them. For example, what Milloween is gonna have, and also what Fergus is gonna have. And yeah, I think this is gonna be a very interesting and very unique way to play the game. Now we're also gonna have boss fights, and 20 plus boss fights, and I think this is gonna be really interesting. I really wanna try this. When it comes to relic and treasures, you're gonna have some relics that you can pick up in your encounters and improve your master with upgrades for that run, and yeah, much new mechanics. And also you're gonna have a hard mode that, well, after you complete chapter 1 you're gonna get hard mode, which basically gets harder, and that's cool. Now when it comes to the new battle pass, it's gonna be available for just shy of 1900 rubies, and you're gonna get 125 tiers of rewards similar to previous ones, a lot of expansion tokens, 10 new cards, 3 new master skins, 8 new avatars and 4 new emotes, and also a lot of XP, rubies, golds and all the good stuff as always. But let's take a look at the new cards that are gonna be here. So first off, we have the Frost Feathers. So this is a common card. They're gonna be flying range minions. They attack both ground and air, and says a group of small pesky flyers that barrage their target with their hay-like projectiles, applying slow to them. Now slow, I really don't because of this. Slow is gonna remove frenzy if the hit minion has it, and it's gonna give minus 25% to move and attack speed. And that's actually pretty good, pretty useful mechanic, and a lot of these cards actually have it. Now a lot of cards also have this new Revelry mechanic, which basically means that if you summon that minion close to another Stothard unit, or if another Stothard unit is summoned next to it, then they're gonna get something. So this new card, Woodsman for example, his reverie is to gain frenzy and give nearby enemy minions slow. So if you can have a bunch of these cards in one deck and just use their reveries, then it's gonna be great for you. Now when it comes to this card, it has quite a lot of health for 5 mana, and DPS seems decent, plus reverie can be very good simply way to apply a slow to a lot of minions. So I think this is gonna be a pretty decent card. I think this is also gonna be a pretty decent card, especially because of the applying slow. The DPS, it's gonna be 30 DPS altogether. It's not that high, but the slow is very useful against some tanks. Now this is the minion that's also gonna double as the master in the new adventure mode. And he does have something called spin attack. So he's basically gonna spin around for 5 seconds and deal AoE damage while moving a bit slower. And after that he's gonna get dizzy for 5 seconds. And I think he's basically gonna be stunned in one place and do nothing. And his reverie is gonna break free of his daze and continue spinning and deal damage. So it says here that the DPS is 100, and if that's gonna be AoE DPS, then that's amazing. And he also has really a lot of health, so this could be a really good minion in pretty much any of your Stout hard decks. But we're gonna have to see. Now this new thing, it's very nice actually to combo with a lot of tanks, especially with the newer cards from this patch. Now this is gonna give a friendly minion plus 100 max health and heal it for 400. So, but after 6 seconds, the minion is gonna disappear. And also, if the target is Toad hard, it's gonna trigger its reverie. So you can definitely use this on some very strong minions to make sure they do the job they were intended to do. And for 2 mana, this can be really amazing. It says cheers as description, interesting. Now, Caber Tosser, this thing, it says it's this powerful Stoneheart tosses his Caber at the first nearby enemy, and the Reverie is to gain another Caber, but it's a melee ground minion, so I think that Caber is gonna be pretty much like Spear on Spear Thrower, so he has it when you summon it, and when he throws it, he's done with it, but the Reverie is gonna give him another one of these, and he has 600 health. So if you can trigger his Reveries over and over, then you have a 600 health pretty much ranged minion, and that's amazing. And also the Caber, it deals a lot of damage in AoE, so if you can keep triggering his Reverie, then you have a huge health ranged minion that does AoE and a lot of damage in that AoE, and that can be amazing. Like this minion, I think he can be definitely very good. I think they're gonna be decks built around him if you can just pull that off, but we're gonna have to see that. It sounds really good. Now, this new Vortex thingy says it pulls all minions towards its center, dealing damage to the enemies, and damage is reduced the further from the center they are. Now, this also has a new mechanic called Mana Freeze. So, Mana Freeze, and then you're gonna have number in the parentheses, and the number is gonna block the next number in the parentheses mana you would gain. So basically, if you have 3 mana and play this, then you spend 2 mana, you have 1 mana left, but the next 2 mana that you were gonna get, you probably will not get. And when it comes to this card, I'm just gonna have to see it in action, because it says 100 damage and says the damage is reduced further from the center they are. I have no idea by how much, like how gradual and how strong that reduction is gonna be, so I definitely have to see this in action. The AoE is kinda a lot, so we'll see. Arcane Ring, I definitely like this one, because it has 1 mana freeze and costs 1 mana, so effectively 2 mana. And says 8 arcane projectiles circle a friendly minion. They deal damage to the first enemy minion they touch and can be cast only in your own area. That makes a lot of sense actually. So 8 projectiles and each one deals 20 damage, so it's 160 damage. That sounds fairly decent for 2 mana. The next card we have right here is High Mage. I'm not gonna try to read that. She's a crystal elf, and very interesting mechanic that she has besides the mana freeze is when mana surge is active, she protects herself against attacks from ranged minions. And that means she's gonna absorb 50% of their damage and it's gonna send full damage back to the attacker. Now she has 180 health, and remember we have cards here that can give her even more health, plus the spirit mechanic that we have already in the game. And the fact that she sends full damage back to the attacker, that can destroy some of the ranged minions we already have in game. And besides that, she has decentish DPS for her own cost and 10 range, so this can be a very strong minion and definitely a very good counter to a lot of the ranged minions, so keep an eye out for that. Now the Mountainshaper, this is the last legendary card that we have revealed here. We know that it's a spell, hammer-like thingy. So an ancient weapon known as Mountainshaper strikes all enemies in a large area with an earth-shattering ground rapture for each charge on the Mountainshaper. Now it's gonna gain a charge for every 6 seconds it's in your hand, and you can have a maximum of 5 charges. So the ground rupture is gonna deal 100 damage and knock back enemy ground minions in a vertical area across the area. And that seems pretty nice actually. Now I'm definitely gonna have to see it in action. Uh, 5 charges, so it can definitely do a lot of damage, but I'm gonna have to see it because the description is kind of fuzzy. It's a legendary that's pretty much the whole adventure is focused around it, so I think it's gonna be OP, probably, it should. And the last card that we have is called Frost Feather Flyby, and it's a spell, that's all we know. Now for 2 mana I don't think it's gonna be like that boom something card, but we're gonna have to wait 2 weeks to see it, and for just that one card, we'll see. When it comes to new skins, this is the skin that's gonna be included in the adventure also. It's a Millowin skin. We have a King Cool, look at it, looks cool actually. And the Mountainshaper Volko. Yeah. And we also have these 4 emotes right here that are gonna be added. And that's pretty much it that we know. But there is one more very important detail. So I left this for last simply to reward you guys that like watch the videos until the end, because I really appreciate it. Now we have this small section on the blog. When the whole update got like delayed, there was a part of it that they still wanted to push before, and that's the problem of Ritual of Servitude. We all know that it's a very very strong card, so they're kind of reworking it, and it's gonna be out on the 21st of this month, so in like 2 days. It's not gonna wait for the whole update 1.7 release, and yeah, so Ritual of Servitude is gonna have the summoned card cap removed, and the mana cost is gonna go from 2 to 4. So it's gonna be a pretty much completely different card than what it used to be. Now, yeah, this is definitely a huge rework for the Ritual of Servitude, and the card has already been a problem for quite some time. So I hope this is kind of gonna fix it, because it's pretty much breaking the game at this point, in my opinion. I mean, you can beat it with some decks, but definitely a lot of people are using it and abusing it, and yeah. And we're also gonna get a new Mayhem mode on the 21st, so we're gonna have one small update in like 2 days, and yeah, well, we hope that's gonna be cool. And also the developers wanna hear about your card ideas, so you can just email them here if you have any cool card ideas, and maybe your card gets added to the game. So we'll see. So that's gonna be all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful to you, and make sure to leave a like if it was useful, dislike it if you didn't like it, and also subscribe if you haven't done that yet, because I have a lot of Minion Masters content on this channel. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, because I'll see you pretty soon. Bye bye.